All right, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm looking for my story. Where is my story, yo? There's a story that I had saved that I'm looking for. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Let's see. All right, so if you look at the title, marriage advice parents gave Solomon Buchi's fans. What there's a story I'm looking for. While I'm looking for that, let me ask you guys a question. What is the best marriage advice that you've gotten from your parents? Anyone can go first in the chat. What are the best what is the what are the marriage advices, not best. What are the marriage advices that you got from your parents? Right? What is the number one? Maybe the number one marriage advice that you got from your parents. That's what we're looking into right now. Let me find this thing while I'm looking for that. I thought I saved it, but apparently I didn't. Apparently I did not. All right. But some of these people are giving us, they have the conversations going already. So we might as well just leverage them. Jesus Christ, what is going on here? Does slap his account or something? Oh God, where is this story? Was it deleted or something? Sometimes stories get deleted, very seldom. Okay, I found it. I don't know why it's hiding that far away, but I found it. Oh, what are the best or the number one marriage advice that you got from your parents? That's what I want to talk about for the next segment. And then let's assess them. You know, our parents, Yoruba people, so tomode ba lasho ju agbalagba lo, kò lè ní àkísà ju àgbàlagbà lọ. Okay, these are your influencers. So let's talk about it. Your influencers are your influencers. Let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about it. All right, let's see here. That's Solomon Buchi. So he posted something on social media, and the question goes. Here's the question. Hold on 1 second. The question goes. Okay, I've lost it again. Okay, I found it. There you go. All right. What marriage advice did your parents give you? That was the actual question. Okay, there you go. What marriage advice did your parents give you? But before I go into some of the ones that were coming on social media, let me see. Chidima, exactly. What about? That's a way to. You say what about the other person? It's gonna get worse. Once you start doing that, it's just gonna get worse. Unfortunately. I know your natural instincts tells you that maybe both of you should show up equally as 100 and 50 and then finally we have a successful marriage. Yeah, right. Chidima says the advice, don't be a financial liability to a man, from my dad. Oh wow, I actually like that. I like that. Pray for him, he will change. Shout out to your dad. Shout out to your dad.
Are you playing? What type of playing is this? This is playing.
Shout out to your dad. Pray for him, he will change. Jesus. Now, that advice is coming from a good place, okay? But you know what I say here about good intentions now. You know, good intentions for the most part, unfortunately. When it comes to marriage, you need a little bit more. It's good to have good intentions. It's good to be a good person. But you need a little bit more than good intentions, you know. My mom teaching me to take great care of, Chiye says, my mom teaching me to take great care of and serving my husband well when I'm giving him food, type of place, meat, presentation, etc. I think that's a good advice too. Like, give. I say give, give, give. Focus on giving, right? Focus on giving. If you get tired of giving, give to yourself. But focus on giving. Please don't remove your attention from giving onto take. If you do that, or if you camouflage it as give and take, that's take you're talking about. You go collect.
Sorry.
If you get tired of giving, maybe you feel like the other person is not reciprocating, I understand. Start giving to yourself. Focus back on yourself. You're basically depleted. You're drained. You've lost yourself. You haven't taken care of yourself in a long time. That's what that means. Ola, please, these are their influencers. Okay, not your. These are so Buchi is not your influencer. Look at him on a yellow background now. This got to be your influencer now. Letting him know things that you like, boundaries, not to cross from the very beginning. All right, that one is coming from a good place too. But sometimes what they mean by that is low tolerance, and that's not good. Sometimes, not all the time. What people, not just your parents, but in general, when people say boundaries, what they're talking about is low tolerance, or their own idea of standards that may be, there's usually some kind of limitations based off of their own outlook. People that lack the skill of active listening would also use the language boundaries a lot. So I would be very, very careful with that. I do think boundaries, if defined properly, is a healthy thing. Okay. Toby and Tribe says, marriage is a school. You are there to learn. My mom, yes. Here's the thing. The caveat to that is that that's true for all of us. All of us. Not just women. All of us. But it's kind of like when you say happy wife, happy life. That actually means in this... It's not just happy wife, okay? It just means when your spouse is happy, you are probably going to have a happy home, happy house. Some people say happy spouse, happy spouse. No, it doesn't rhyme. That's stupid. Leave it alone. Happy wife, happy life, okay? So in the same token, we say ile oko, ile ekoni, or rhyme. It rhymes. But honestly, the deeper meaning of that is that when you get into marriage and you want it to work, you better be a student of that game. Starting on the day one, not before the marriage, not before the wedding, right after the wedding. That's when the school starts. Okay, so that's also coming from a great place. I just think a lot of these things need context, because marriage is not our mate. We can't just afford blanket statements. A lot of people are interpreting them as they like. Pick anyone, they are all the same. No, they are not all the same. Jesus. Who said that? Your mom or your dad? Marriott. Ola was not expecting. No, I was not expecting that. That was a lot. Bagava, that far. Welcome. All right, so let's look at some of the comments that some of them were making before we get into the final story of the day. Let's look at some of the comments some of them were making. All right, so on Linda EKG blog, this was some of the comments that people were making. Let's get into it. Somebody said, never marry down. He will choke you with inferiority complex, which may lead to him crippling you to his level in the long run. Imagine somebody who is a parent, your father or your mother, advising you with this advice ahead of going to marriage. Mario said, my mom. Yeah, that would make sense. Pick anyone, they're all the same. I think they usually give that advice when they feel like you're getting older than they would like. So they say, hey, just pick anybody. Don't do that, please. Don't do that. So, okay. This is the part of the other side where I say, your age, just because you're of age, so somebody should do anyhow. You go collect.
Sorry.
All right, let's be careful. Sorry. Let's see. Isamor says, don't start what you can't finish. Okay, that I can see that how that's a good advice actually. But I would like to know what if my parents advise me, I'd be like, what do you mean? I would like to know more, you know. Marrying down has issues. But never marry down. He will choke you with inferiority complex, which may lead to him crippling you to his level in the long run. So, if you married down, I just think it's a default. You're probably marrying someone at your level emotionally. It might look like it's not your level financially, but there's something about you at an emotional level, which is all that matters, that married that person. Doesn't mean it's your fault, but that's the reality, right? There's something about you. It could be your status at the time, it could be whatever, but something about you connected with, you attract who you are all the time. I'm sorry, I know that doesn't sound good because it's like an insult. What do you mean? That person is me. You married that person. Okay, what you should ask is that outside of this moral thing that you're maintaining right now, what are the other 2,000 factors that aligned you with that person? That's the question you should be asking. Okay, now are we going to spell out all 2,000? No. By the time I listen to you, if I say 1 or 2 or 3, we will see it. We will discover a lot already, you know. And that will probably be a good place to start from. Just ask questions. Don't marry the one you love. Love the one you marry. I think this is a terrible advice in 2024. You go collect. I know it makes sense on paper. Don't marry the one you love because love is not enough. Love the one you marry. You just suddenly start loving that person without loving them first. What are you talking about? It sounds good. It rhymes too. But I don't know about that. Listen, don't marry the one you are in love with. That's what they're trying to say. Like, if you're not in love with that person, if you're not attracted to that person, is what they're trying to say. Just marry them and then grow to love them later. Yeah, maybe in India. Even Indians are kicking against that. Okay? Arranged marriage. Okay.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
It's okay to say it's not enough to be in love with that person to choose them to marry. It's okay to just spell that out completely. But please don't be advising people to marry anything they're not attracted to. Please. Okay, there's somebody that's lame enough who's actually going to try that and then come and say, I don't think I was ever in love with him. Well, they forced me to marry. Like, what? Anyway, so I said, my parents told me, run it as you see it. But if violence is involved, run and don't look back. Okay, I can rock with that. DV is a no. Okay, that I should calm down for my husband. That my husband has the final say in everything. Yes. Hello. That person is collecting already, and they are trying to help. At the final say. Now, here's the thing. On paper, that sounds good. But whatever got you into that space where we have to determine who has the final say, listen, as a default, the husband is the head of the household. That's just default. The woman you are teaching this to already knew that. But if something is happening in that marriage that will make us bring this conversation to the surface, say, hey, your husband has the final say. That Baba is collecting too already. That man she has lost respect for that man, and we're trying to force respect, and there's no respect. And unfortunately, respect must be earned. And it's extremely hard, especially if she's lost respect for you. She can try small. She can dash you some small respect if you can meet her halfway. But usually you will complain that it is not enough. Sorry. Yeah. And then she will retract back to equilibrium and say, I knew it. Could it work? It cannot work. Could it work? Madam, how did you raise your child? Is that what you were doing to your husband? Is that how you raised your daughter? All kind of stuff will come into that conversation that are not relevant. The question should be as simple as, if you have to tell a person that your husband has the final say, she's lost respect for that man, we should ask what happened. What is going on? Is he not working? Is he not stepping up to the plate? Is he not supportive? Does he have mouth like a lethal weapon? Right? Is he competing with you when it comes to who is going to be right? Does he know how to listen? Or is he busy doing mostly shalaye? Is he like doing coach husband training? Right? What is he like playing video games? Right? When you know that he could do better for himself, do you feel like he's not ambitious enough? Because that will make a woman lose respect for a man too. Just one or two questions will get her talking, and then before you know, you discover what is actually going on that made you have to say that he has the final say. The reality that he hasn't had final say in a long time. She's pushing back now because she's like, I deserve more. We deserve more. But he's hearing you are disrespectful. Just follow my lead. That she would try. That she can only do that for so long. Or maybe you're just married to a very evil woman. I'm guessing that the evil part is probably not your case. The struggle is real. We don't know what your situation is. We need to ask you a few questions and then we'll get down to the bottom. But the issue is not the final say. She kind of already knows that. Most people kind of know that, okay? But no, it's supposed to be a partnership. Listen. Women don't want that. They don't. They can even say they want it. Ultimately, they want to. What they want to be able to feel safe and secure. Okay? And part of what makes them feel safe and secure is that you yield to them too, right? But okay, if he agrees with you that we're partners, that doesn't solve the problem because he still feels like you're disrespectful. Now, he will start walking on eggshells, right? And you're going to wonder what is going on with this man. Why is he always angry, right? There's so much, like I told you, it's like 2,000 different scenarios. We cannot be generalizing this stuff. We don't know. What I can tell you right now is if you get into a place where your parent is advising you, your husband has the final say, there's a good chance that there's problem again. Now, let's go back to the beginning. Let's say before you got married, they gave you this advice. There's a good chance that your parents are watching you as a teenager. They said this girl's mouth is like a little weapon. She was really a cock baby. Will you be able to stay in a husband? So they're kind of like afraid. They have fear that your mouth is kind of too sharp. Please make sure you yield to your husband, or that could also be that situation. I just wanted to make sure I put that out there before we continue. All right, great. Someone said, marry a man that really loves you. Don't be too fixated on his financial status at the moment. Paraphrased. I actually like that. Okay, now, if somebody is fixated on financial status, that's a red flag. My dad really loved my mom. It was as clear as day. So I guess that's why she makes it a point of duty to remind me about it even on days she wants her grandchildren. Okay, I can rock with that. Somebody said, don't marry any man that can't defend you against his family. That one is a strong one. When they disrespect you, don't marry a man who doesn't have someone that can call him to order. Don't marry a flirt. Even if it's just likable, people just like him. Like sometimes he comes off as a flirt. It's just that he's a likable guy. What's wrong with that? Jesus Christ. You know, a flirt is subjective. It's a subjective thing. Just because you smile too much as the other lady, some people call you a flirt. Anyway, don't marry a man that doesn't fear God. Don't expose your family issues to your husband. This one is loaded though. This one is loaded. Jesus. Let me see. Don't marry any man that can't defend you. That one is tricky because most men, they don't fall out of the skies know that they should defend you against their family. Sometimes it shows up as a very confusing thing to a typical man. It's like you against his family, and they kind of get stuck in the middle until they have somebody with some wisdom, some experience to say, hey, bros, you have to priority your wife first, okay? It doesn't listen. Everybody will fall in place later on. You love all of them equally, but your wife first. Sometimes it takes experience for a man to be able to comprehend that. So I would probably not want to give a young girl that advice before they have to deal with that. I don't know. It depends. What kind of advice do you give a young girl? Because now she's saying don't marry, so she hasn't married yet. They're saying what she should marry or not. Or more, that advice is loaded. Let me just leave it alone. No matter your anger, never refuse your wife's meal. Okay, that's a good one. And there are men that do that. They will refuse the wife's meal. Terrible, terrible idea. It's a bad idea, by the way. Don't do that, gentlemen. Don't do that. Don't say I'm not going to eat today because you're angry. You might as well just go back into your mama's womb. That's an overgrown adolescent behavior. Okay, you're worse than teenagers that are misbehaving. That's a bad idea. Don't do that. You get caught up in your emotions. You are refusing food. It's very common, by the way. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Jesus Christ. So, no matter your anger, never refuse. That's a good advice. If you have to stay late for work or an emergency, keep her posted. That's a good advice. Never assume or involve third parties in your issue. Yes, unless they are professionals. If you need help, seek help. Okay. My mom will always say it is only God that can help you keep your marriage. When you get married, pray continually for wisdom, knowledge to direct your home, and understanding to know your partner and how best to deal with him. The most intelligent can fail in marriage without God. I like that the prayer is focused. I don't like random prayers. Random prayer just because. I actually hate them. Let me be clear what I just said. I don't like random prayer. Like I feel like slapping that person. Like, why are you doing that? What's the purpose? Okay, and Nigerians are very like, actually it's reflex for most of us. Like, watch yourself in church. When you're in church, you just find yourself like, because you're so programmed to do that. Stop. Okay, have a purpose if you're going to pray. I like that prayer point has a purpose behind it, and the purpose is wisdom. Wisdom, powerful wisdom, knowledge to direct your home, and understanding to know your partner. As simple as that sounds, that is a big deal. Shout out to whatchamacallit. Shout out to Solomon Buchi for this question. You know, let me see here. Let's see if we have more. Don't tell a man your past secrets. Hey, wait. Let me go back to the top. My wife should become my next after God. I like that. So the lames are going to come here and say, no, my mother first. Wait. My wife should become my next after God. In priority, is in priority. In life, as a man, you're presented with very difficult decisions sometimes. You have to be prepared for that. You don't have to wait until there's crisis and you now feel stuck in the middle. Your wife comes first before your children. United front. If you have small crack inside that wall, the devil will come right through it. It's not common sense. Just know that and know peace, okay? Been hearing this as a child, beginning to make more sense daily. Yes, it might not make sense to you. The younger, the lamer you are, but over time, it will make sense. If you want to gather sense anyway, you know. So this person says, don't tell a man your past secrets. He'd use it against you. If you have to tell him your past secrets, yeah, he might use it against you. If you have to tell him, like a strong man, a man who is competent, if you tell too much secret, he will actually be like, please, I don't want to know that. He will actually tell you that, babe, I love you the way you are. Please don't tell me anymore, right? But if you sit down there and just soaking in it, yes, he will use that against you. Just so you know, okay? And don't come back and tell me like, all men do that. No, the men you chose did that, okay? And there's enough of them to go around. Of course, I won't take of them, LOL, because I intend love and be one. Or I won't take any one of them because I intend love and be one with my husband in every sense. When I do, no. Don't. There's certain. That's why. Oh, transparency and trust. When Brother Ben was saying transparency, we're like, okay, yes, let's take that in as a general, okay. But let's gather sense. There's timing and there's wisdom. Wisdom is the most powerful of all of them because there's some information that people are not prepared for. And you call it trust and transparency. There's nuances to these things. Okay? Case by case by case by case. You can think about that further as much as you want. Because I intend to love, okay, God, when I do get married, I'll be to man that fears God, so I wouldn't have to worry about hiding anything. It's not about hiding anything, it's about wisdom. That prayer with the wisdom one is the greatest. It's about wisdom. That person is the one that has the wisdom, okay? Don't marry a woman from a home that the mother is in control, not the father. See, that's a very, very stupid advice. That's just your observation from the outside. You might also be interpreting what's going on with limited or your myopic views, thinking the woman is controlling. By the way, that could be that man applying wisdom. That is a very, very stupid advice. Never tolerate a cheating partner. No, you should not tolerate a cheating partner. That's a good one. Put God first. Pray. Get married to a God-fearing man. Be submissive. Great. That's nice. Let's give that a low. In reality, he will have to earn that submission. Marriage isn't about sex. Okay.
You doing what?
Let's see where this is going. Marriage isn't about sex. Marriage is about cooking and cleaning. What? What do you mean? Anyway, this person said, don't marry a woman from a woman. Don't marry a woman from a home that the mother is in. Okay, where they said that? Yeah, that's the same slide. So as you can see, there is no space in this house. Don't pack your things and say you want to come back. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's an advice given to a woman. Thankfully, I've had no reason to do so, but they've been so supportive to me and hubby for the past 10 years. Yes, sometimes people say that. Don't overthink it. I would say don't overthink it. Sometimes parents will just say that because it's just a talking point, but some people internalize that and they will stay there, and yes, a dangerous move. Anyway, let's do this. Let me see how far we've gone. We covered a lot. Jesus. What is going on? There's still battles going on here. Wait. Am I missing something? No. What am I missing? I'm missing something. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I found it. There you go. Okay. So let's continue from the comments we had before. Yes, she thought I was getting old and menopause would catch me at 33. Yeah, that's where that comes from usually. At 33. She said, how sway? Yeah, our parents get concerned. They get concerned very quickly when it comes to that, One of our younger friends who was 41 hit early menopause. I ignore 70% of what she says. Yeah, because they're coming from a different era entirely. Igbos do this a lot as well. They make people, but they don't force them. You have to have basic attraction before you say yes. Love that. Attraction, just basic. Like, yes, do you like him? Yes, I like him. Come on! We need to get that at first, okay? Please. One of my former friends got matched with a beautiful nurse in New York, but he said he wasn't attracted. I think he regrets it. Dating is very hard in the city. Yeah, nah, let's not do that. Well, as Allah says, anything from fear could work. Anything from fear could work. That's Chidima. Listen, I have another level of respect for you. Could work? Well, it didn't marry her and be cheating. If you know there's any talking point that I say a lot that you're mastering, please post it in the backstage for me, because I would like to make some t-shirts of some sort. Give me ideas, some t-shirts that we can, put out there, a little some stuff, or even potentially book titles. Thank you so much if you do that for me. Well, he didn't marry her and be cheating due to lack of attraction. It's easier for women to love a man that is good to her than the other way around. That's a good point, Film Girl. Okay, because when a woman feels like a man can take care of her, that can translate to everything else. Okay, all right. So that's actually more of a primitive thing and is real. Oh, maybe he was an Israel that wanted a virgin who is a small girl. But at the time, I think it was because his dad introduced to someone controlling dad. Plus, she was financially secure and he wasn't. There was a mental block from day one. These are some of the real issues people are dealing with. Maybe now because he started listening to KS. Interesting. Okay, broke man with big ego syndrome. The girl dodged bullet. He was intimidated from day one. Gotta be careful with all that kind of stuff. Even if it's an interpretation, is dangerous. If one person interprets you as you are intimidated from day one, even if that's not your intention, it's just as dangerous. Yeah. He had a KS to be broke and big ego syndrome. He had KS to the broke and big ego syndrome. Wahala. The guy should have chosen the struggle. Yeah. Listen, because again, no matter how good Kevin Samuel was, the kind of people he was attracting will only listen to the thing that rubs their nerves, and that's a very dangerous thing, He's settled now, but yes, he is now an ex-friend, ego and KS. The same thing goes for me too here. People would listen to the side that hit their nerves. That's why I stay saying self-awareness. Don't turn what I'm saying into a religion. Make sure you understand the concept behind it with real life examples, case studies. Okay, that's why I use the trendy topics. I don't want to just talk out of my ass. Trendy topics, real life examples that we can assess. Before we cover one or two or three, you will start getting some of the nuances. He's settled now, but yes, he's now an ex-friend. Ego and KS don't. Yeah, it's a bad idea. Random prayer don't collect. Yes, so. Straight bullet, straight. He started taking shots. Wait. You unfriended him, but why? He started taking shots at me about being old at 31, calling women bitter, and he treated me badly when I visited his city. No more agony. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Yep. Definitely block people like that. She said, what? Sex don't collect. I know, right? I was like, wait, what? What do you mean? Who is our class captain? Film girl. Is film girl our class captain? No. It's between you, film girl, Chinye, Natu, and Brother Ben. And gracious greatness is not engaged enough. He's there, but he's not engaged enough. Gracious greatness don't collect. Anyway, so let's do this. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. See how far are we? Oh, not bad. Because I'm actually not looking at the time today, because I'm live today. Okay, but do me a favor. Hit the like button. Share, subscribe. Turn up your notifications, but I want you to check out this next segment. Yeah, check out this next segment.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.